Hi guys, we're back again. It's me. It's the Hatening again, and I'm going to do another story today. So today's story, and I can't tell if it's like better if I like say what the story's about up front or kind of just like get into it. But today's story is going to be about the time I saw Bigfoot in high school. At the time, I was living in Hagerstown, and I was dating a girl who lived in Frederick. And if you're not really familiar with like Western Maryland geography, there's like a mountain range, like South Mountain and stuff, that sits in between these two towns, which are about 25 minutes apart, right? So like I would drive back and forth a lot. We would hang out in Frederick when we were like, you know, hanging out or going on dates or whatever, because that's where she lived and it was just easier that way. And so one day, one afternoon, you know, it's like early afternoon, we decided to go to the Washington Monument at South Mountain, like near Boonesboro, I believe. It's like right off of Old 40. And it's basically like an old lookout tower from the Revolutionary War, I believe. Yeah. And it's like one of the first monuments named after George Washington. It's this beautiful spot, like up on a mountain. You can climb up. You can see a really, 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 really long way. It's like a very chill spot. Like families hang out there, you know, like you can picnic around it and all that bullshit. So we went there, just the two of us, and like, you know, there's a parking lot and then a little trail, then you get to the actual monument, the little tower thing. And, you know, we like smoke a bowl and we're hanging out. It's a very pleasant, very nice day. But to get to this parking lot from like the state road, you go through like these kind of winding country roads, right? And it's not like that labyrinthian, but it's, if you take a wrong turn, like you got to backtrack. You know what I mean? It's not like you can just kind of like pop out down the road a little ways like later or whatever. So we are leaving the parking lot and we're trying to go back to the main road, and I end up making a wrong turn and end up in this like kind of like farm country, like fieldy area, right next to the mountains, right next to the mountain range. And so we are riding parallel to the mountains, and we're driving down this road, and we begin to realize that we took a wrong turn somewhere. So we're going to have to like turn around or whatever. No big deal, you know, whatever. It's a nice day. It's like it's a windows down, like music up, like smoke a joint in the car type of day, spring day. And so we're driving and we're in like a wooded patch. And we pop out into this large clearing. And so the road went straight, and then there was like a cornfield that was probably like the size of 2, maybe 3 football fields, you know, like a very large cornfield. And on the right-hand side of the cornfield, like on like the long, like on a long rectangular side of the cornfield, like on the right-hand side, was where the road was. And then the other 3 sides were basically surrounded by trees and stuff. So we drive up to this field and we're riding along like the right-hand side of the field. So the field is to our left as we're driving in the car. And the corn is like, you know, like it's not really growing at this point. Like it's pretty low, right? And so we look over and we see like a dude in the field, like walking in the same direction that we are, right? He's a little ways away, and this just looks like some big dude just like walking around, but like whatever, like, you know, farmers walk in their fields all of the time, you know what I mean? And as we get closer to this dude who's like walking in the same direction as us, like I notice that he's like monochromatic, right? Like he's just one color from head to toe, and it's like brown, right? And I'm like, it's not weird, like whatever. Maybe it's like jackets and a coverall, like, you know, it's Carhartt country, whatever. And so we get almost to the end of the field, and I don't see anywhere to turn around. And I was like, okay, fuck it. Like I'm just going to pull like a U-ey in the middle of this road, and then we'll go back and find the main road and get out of here. So I turn the car around, and as I do, now we're on the other side of the road, obviously, so the field's on our right-hand side. And person in the passenger seat is looking at this guy, and she's basically like, oh, that's weird. Like, it's all one color, and it's like, it all looks like it's flowing in the wind or whatever, you know what I mean? And so we look over, and I swear to God, dude, it was just like this big thing that was head to toe, like brown, like long hair, right? And they were fucking tall. Like, it was like a big thing. And this was about the closest we got to them. Like, I couldn't tell you how close we were. Like, I don't know, maybe 25, 30 yards at this point, maybe more. Not super far. We were close enough to where you could like see detail, but not close enough to where you could see like a facial expression or anything. But, I slow down the car to look at this guy, because at this point it's just like a weird looking dude, but she's like, oh, something's weird about this. So like I slow down the car, and as soon as I do, it breaks off into like a full run, but it's running away from the car, like towards the tree line. And I have never seen like a human being run that fast, right? And it just bolts, and it is running so fucking fast, and then it just immediately disappears in the tree line. Like, it runs away from where like the farmhouse and the barn and stuff is. It just goes straight into the woods. And so we're just like, what the fuck was that, man? And so we drive out of the area, we get back onto the road, we end up going back into town, and we're sort of like reflecting on what we saw. Like, that was weird, right? Like, what do you think that was? And then like we quickly come to the conclusion that it was probably like a Bigfoot thing. But like, I don't know, when you see something that is or could be paranormal, like in my experience, in my limited experience or whatever, like I don't know, I guess it like doesn't really hit you until you actually have time like to reflect on it, right? Like, it's not like we were out there like Bigfoot hunting or anything. We just like saw something weird. We just saw like a huge hulking figure that like was a big hairy thing. And then like by the time we realized it was like out of the ordinary, like it realized that we were like looking at it, and then it ran. Yeah, so like like later that night, like I went home and like looked online and went and looked at all like the Bigfoot hunting, like Australopithecus or whatever the scientific name is, like watch groups and stuff, and there had been like a lot of sightings in that area. I guess Bigfoot tend to cluster in mountainous areas, and that's part of like a whole other like missing 411 adjacent like Wendigo like paranormal conspiracy about like mountain ranges and like the honeycomb like cave systems that are all around the country, and there's like paranormal activity around these caves and around whatever. And I mean, that would make sense there because it's just old trees and old mountains, and you can't really go in there and you can't develop there. So it makes sense if stuff was hiding there, using those mountain ranges and like forested areas as like transportation zones to get up and down the coast or whatever. But so like I even like called in the sighting to like a Bigfoot watch group, and then like they called me back, and I like filled out a fucking report, and it was like authenticated by the group or whatever. So like I have like a report on file somewhere with like these like paranormal groups that like I saw. Like I have like a certified Bigfoot witness like fucking incident or whatever. But yeah, I mean that's always been like a story that people kind of believed, because it's like, with paranormal stuff people go either way. But the fact that like I had someone else with me who like can corroborate it and like will independently like verify, like tell the same story, like gives it a little bit of credence. But yeah, no, that was a really fucking weird day. That was really cool though. Like I don't know, I don't really know that many other people who have like seen like a Bigfoot like that, but I swear to God, dude, like I saw one and it was not that far away, and it was fucking cool. Like it wasn't scary or anything. It was just like, oh shit, oh damn. And then by that point it's like running away. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys very much for listening to the show. Andrew and I really appreciate it. If you like the show, it'd be cool if you subscribe, told your friends, gave us a good rating, all that stuff. But, if not, whatever, just keep on listening. That's pretty cool too. Yeah, take care of yourself and the people around you, and don't forget to tell your friends you love them.